What the fuck is up, Denny's? Welcome to the very first 2.3K podcast, which means everyone on the show has a 2,300-pound total powerlifting total, and a foot in my mouth, apparently. And guests will follow suit with the only exceptions if their endowment is overly powerful. I'm Patrick Maguire, your mom's favorite powerlifter, and we have my co-host, Shane Holler, the current squat 308 sleeved all-time.
It's the all-time raw sleeve world record. I think there's a ton of different ways you can say that shit. 925, 420 kilo raw squat and sleeves. Sheesh. Shane Haller, what's going on?
And later we will have the king of the fat ass white girls and the king of subtotals in the sleeve category, the Pog King, Craig Foster. So
we're talking about that exception. Like I'll call him out a little bit before the podcast. He likes it. 2292, so he's 10 pounds shy, but he also has a 1,600+ pound subtotal raw, the biggest raw subtotal ever. So there's your super strong exception.
Yeah, he's 10 pounds shy, but he's 10 inches larger than average, so we'll give him that. Squats like a tripod.
So we all got this meet coming up here in April where it's gonna be, that's kind of like how, talking about the podcast being 23 and up. We started that group chat 23 plus, and we tried to get as many big total strong guys as you can get, something close to like an American big dogs and sleeves. And we had all these, we ended up getting probably like 8 or 9 guys together, all around 2,300+ pound total, that are going to be in this comp in April, and just kind of got everyone talking and shooting the shit. So we're probably going to try and just get everyone that's going to be involved on here at some point, and just shoot the shit and talk about getting ready for the meet, prep, and everything else like that, and the mindset of a big old strong 2,300 pound plus total personality.
Yeah, so the meet in April is the Pioneer Open USPA. The meet that Pioneer decided, you know what, we're gonna only put our entire meet funding into one meet. And then, what was it, Depth Before Dishonor was like, you know what, we're going to add 10K to this pot for biggest total. And then Dan Bell whipped his dick out and added $1,000 onto that for biggest
2,000.
total. How much?
2,000.
2,000, damn. It's like a whole
month. The prize pool is sitting at 112,000. Sheesh, edit that part up. 112,000 total prize pool, man. And if your weight class has 3 or more people in it, they're paying out weight classes. And I was trying to do the math on this yesterday, and if they did that there's a total, like based on the roster, there's, I want to say like 8 or 9 weight classes total that meet that criteria. 4 on the girls, and then the rest are on the guys. And so I mean, that's like just even winning your weight class, instead of getting just the normal chill metal, like, a little plastic deal, like you can probably get like $1,000 or something like that on top. That's not even counting like the overalls or whatever else they end up whipping up. So I mean, it's gonna be pretty cool, man.
It's about 6.2 grand per weight class.
That's that's more than I made at the last meet I did, dude. So that's crazy. That's like, the old school Kern meets when they had 40 grand up for first place. Second place was 20 grand. You know what I mean? Like, it's still, that's a busboy's annual salary. That's a large chunk of change in one day.
Yeah, that's like an entire year's worth of food, at least.
So that puts us about 9 months out then. And, so plenty of time, just like, we're both going to be working. You're going to be in sleeves. You've never done that for a meet prep or, competed at a meet like that, and walked out. For me, I mean, you're starting to do it in your training, but neither of us do that in comp. So that'll be one more thing to kind of, throw in there. I think the biggest thing for me is doing this meet. I want to hit just a big number. It's competing with all these other people, but the standard's going to be high. We're all going to be sleeves, and we're all going to have to walk out. So there's, we're all going to be on the same playing field. And I think that kind of makes it cool, where you're usually looking at people online or whatever, and, cross comparing from like, Lee does reps this, or he walked out that. Like, this is all in the same spot, same rules, and
all the big boys in the same space.
Yeah, whoever has the biggest number wins. So that pays out 10, 12 grand.
Yeah.
That's going to be hard to beat Dan, but it's just going to be cool to be in that kind of a contest.
Oh, looks like we got the king of fat ass white girls coming on.
Yeah, me?
What's up? We got our local tripod on here.
Yes.
In the car.
In the car. You got the AC going on there?
What do you think? On full blast.
So we were talking about
Trend life right now. Trend life right now.
In the middle of a hot, muggy Florida summer.
Very hot.
Oh, you're actually cruising right now.
So Craig just finished training. Are you hitting up some sort of post meal or post training meal going on right now?
Dude, the internet's going to be a question with him cruising around. We'll see how it holds up.
All right, let's hope he picks up some honeys on the way home. So the Pioneer Open. So we got 8 big dogs going in there. We got Dan Bell. You got me, if I count as big. We got Shane Holler, Craig Foster. It's going to be Tom Davis's comeback meet. We got 3 more. Was it Death Grip Derek?
Death Grip Derek. We got Brad Crawford, Super Dad. And we got Doyle Rules, Sean Doyle, dude. So it's going to be 2 of those guys actually have competed at big dogs. So, I mean, it's going to be a pretty fun fucking meet, dude. It's going to be loaded.
Yeah. That's like, if you want to talk about big meets that you need to watch, you got the Pioneer Open coming up in April. And then we just had the American Pro go down in Manassas, Virginia, where there were 8 all-time total world records broken, and then a bunch of single lift records broken. I don't know how many exactly, but there were 2 specific
squats, benches, deadlifts. I mean,
yeah,
kind of everyone was hitting big shit, man.
Yeah, like I know Tamara Wilcott broke the squat and deadlift at least. I don't know if she broke the bench.
And all-time women's raw total.
Yeah,
biggest raw lady total ever.
Yeah,
1620, dude. She's been trying to hit that since Showdown last year. It was pretty fucking crazy.
And then we got so let's break it down. So the American Pro was 2 days. Day 1 was wraps, day 2 was sleeves. And as our local authority on segregation, Craig, how do you feel about this? Since you went from sleeves to wraps most recently.
I like it. But in my opinion, honestly, I can me being in the sleeves, I wouldn't mind going and play with the wraps. I mean, me being in the sleeves and go join with the wraps guys. I mean, my squad is equal, honestly.
Yeah, dude, it really wouldn't make too much of a difference. I think Craig and I we'll watch any we'll watch the hybrid meet they had, or just even the American Pro, and it'll be as far as it's squats, even with in the wrap day and stuff, it was you and Haas had the 2 biggest squats. Everywhere else than that, Craig and me were right there with them. I would have had the 4th biggest, and he would have had the 3rd biggest fucking squat to meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So a lot of people on the wrap day were complaining about the judging. I didn't watch the live stream because I didn't want to cry at whatever they were saying about me because I'm too insecure. But some people in the back room were like, all right, they're being extra tough on these wrap squats, calling one of the flights, half the flight bombed out due to depth on squats or something like that. But some people were like, hey, there's this conspiracy going on that they want everyone to go towards sleeves. We got these Inzer sleeves, which are basically wraps coming out. It's a conspiracy theory to get people out of wraps and into sleeves, because that's where the easiest barrier to entry is. People can just throw on sleeves and they're basically ready to go. And I'm going from wraps to sleeves, and I don't know if it's really that easy to switch from wraps to sleeves, because I'm just relying on my wraps too much. What do you guys think about the wraps versus sleeves, whether or not it really matters?
I think it's really good to know how to, if you focus on just growing your raw squat, you can put the wraps on, which are a tool, and they will enhance your squat. So I think the way you're looking at it, you are used to using the wraps, so you don't know how to just kind of get that normal cadence of a raw squat. I think your legs are strong. You're obviously a strong fucking squatter, but to get the cadence and just you're gonna make your own rebound at the bottom instead of relying on the wraps. I think that's the biggest thing. But then going, the other way, just throwing those on, it's a totally different cadence. When Craig switched over, I mean, you can talk about it, Craig, but I mean, it was like, that probably was like your least favorite lift for the whole prep was squat.
Yeah, it was just it's a total different from going from sleeves and going to wraps. I thought it would be easy. I figured the wraps would just give me a bigger rebound to like give me more pounds, but it's just complete opposite. It's just my whole squat changed, squat pattern, everything, and it just threw me all off. And I was just first time not confident at all in my squats. Like all the way up to the goats, I literally was just praying to God, just let me get something, honestly. And that was
up until that third squat, boys.
Yeah.
I think
Mary, just let me throw more weight on there and just give me the depth. That's all I needed.
I think there's something to say about a 970-pound opener, because at the Ghost Clash you opened at 970, took 2 to get your third, but you actually had balls and you jumped up for the third, and I took 970.
Yeah, he should have jumped on the second. He should have just jumped on the second and then jumped on the third. He probably could have had 1070, 1060, something like that.
I wanted to jump on the second. I wanted to go to 1,003 on the second once I didn't get the 970. But Sean was like, stick with it. I was like, all right, let's do it. And second I felt was on depth. And then I was like, fuck this. I'm going right to 1025. Let me get my PR at least. And hit it right then and there.
Yeah.
Hey, the goal is to hit that in sleeves coming up.
I did all prep too. Easily my best squat I did all prep.
Oh,
was at 1025.
Yeah.
Both you guys, man. Pat sat there and got under 1014 when he almost timed out. Like, that was probably you went under, and then like you didn't even set the pick. You just grabbed it. You know what I mean? Like, that was the craziest thing.
I didn't have time to freak out about it. My handlers were like, yeah, there's a break in between the previous flight and your flight, and I was like, no, we got to go now. There's no break. Grab me now. And they were like, no, I'm like, fucking right now. Let's go. And then like what I have like less than 10 seconds to get the command. Like Alex Usler was at the rack and like, just take it and put it back. And I'm like, fuck you, I'm taking this and I'm doing it.
You can insert the video, dude. Like there's literally like a countdown clock and you were within like seconds of like missing it. You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty clutch.
It was close. Yeah.
So big numbers as far as the first day. I mean, like, well, you're fucking there, dude. Like, how was that warm-up room? How was the atmosphere? What was the vibe, man?
So, it was way different than the Ghost Clash. Like, the warm-up room, it was segregated. They had a bouncer at the door making sure that only athletes and specific people who had the wristband that either denoted athlete or coach were going through into the warm-up room. So it didn't get crowded as fuck. It wasn't getting super hot. There was AC. They had 2 projectors. One projector was showing the platform, so you could see, like, we basically all stopped when Chad was going up to watch what was going on with him. And then they had lifting cast on the other projector, so you knew where everything was going. But they had 3 monos. One of the monos wasn't the same as the others, so like everyone stayed away from that one. But they had Garrett Fear and Papa Bear Rogers in the back room, basically like running the warm-up room. So like, I know House, Herndon, and I were on the main mono, and he was basically, Garrett was like pointing like, what do you need? What do you need? All right, you're up next. You're after him. Like, basically, you didn't really have to think at all. Like, it was so well run in the back room. Papa Bear was doing like the rack heights and making sure that everything was centered in, out, whatnot. And then there were, I think it was either
that's clean, dude.
Yeah, it was legit. And then there were like 2 to 3 combo racks. So same thing with the combo racks, except Garrett was commentating, but Papa Bear made sure that everything was going smoothly. And then there were 3 deadlift platforms in the warm-up room too. So like the only issue was the amount of plates that were available.
Was anyone being shitty and snagging them from other people?
It was like everyone would start on like 3 different ones, and then we would like kind of like congregate towards one. But deadlift warm-ups, that's easy. Like, you just, the bar's loaded, you fucking just walk up to it, lift it, and then you sit down for 20 minutes. But the highlight was they hired a masseuse for the back room. So they had a masseuse, just free massages.
I think you posted a picture of that the other day. Yeah.
she was hot too, which made it even better. Like
Did
my
you
head, I was
tip
like,
Pat?
"Don't-"
Did you tip her?
I didn't. I should have, but
Boner?
a what?
Did you get a boner?
No. The entire time, I was like, don't mention Deshaun Watson. Don't mention Deshaun Watson. Like, I got a massage before squats because I was having the groin tightness issues. And then after my first squat, I couldn't bend my knee. So the second and third squats, I was just searing pain the entire time. And I like hobbled over to her and I was like, I think I broke. And she was like, it's on the table, I'll fix it, don't worry. And then after bench, like she got it so I could bend my knee enough to bench. And then after bench, I got a minor pec tear, and I was like, I did it again. And so she like worked my pec so that it wouldn't tear worse during deadlifts. And then she was basically packed up by the time we were done with deadlifts. So it was Charlotte out of Summit Performance in Maryland. So
no doubt.
Real MVP right there. But the production was a little intimidating. Like they had that entire like
Big meat field, boys.
It was like they had the was it like a 20-foot screen with LED panels with lifter bios. Like you came up and I was staring at myself and I was like, damn, I'm handsome. And then it like where we're from, like that was all A1 Productions idea. And then they also had like a bunch of like LED walls for fire effects. So I guess Micah wasn't able to do the indoor fireworks that he's used to, but they had a smoke machine.
Sparklers. You remember the sparklers at the Kern, Craig?
Yeah, but they had the smoke machines, but it wasn't like right in front of our face. So it was like the atmosphere was like it was dark except for the platform. They had the Jumbotron going on, sponsored by Hooters, but like it was a little intimidating. I was not used to how little sunlight I was getting. I'm like a little fucking plant where I need a little bit of sunlight. Like after squats, I went outside and it was like 95 degrees outside, and I was like, what the hell? Like I'm used to going outside and it's colder after doing it. Like let the steam like come off of me, but it was hotter outside than it was inside because it was air conditioned inside. It still got to like 80 because how many people were there, but the production.
You do the meet again next year?
Yeah. The meeting next year is going to be in April.
October.
Yeah. October. Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
No, dude. Look, I mean, it was just like to watch. It was fucking cool. To be there looked pretty awesome. And then that was even just the first day. The second day, I mean, it looked like there was everyone from the first day was there to watch at least or something like that. Because the crowd looked like it doubled. And I don't know. I mean, there was like I sent you those stats like before the podcast. But I'm trying to think how many total. There was like 4 totals over 2,300 pounds, 4 totals over 23, 7 over 22, 11 over 21, and 22 total 2K totals, which is pretty fucking crazy. And a lot of 2 of those 2,300 pound totals were on the next day. I mean, Zach broke his all-time total record, and then Danny Griggs' biggest deadlift ever, man, like 1070 or something crazy. I mean, that was I mean, if anything gets remembered from that weekend, I mean, that's probably the biggest lift of the whole weekend. You know what I mean? Literally.
Yeah. And didn't he also go for 500 kilos?
On a 4th, yeah. He didn't break it, but I mean, that was like the 4th pull, 3rd one over 1,000 pounds or whatever. I mean, it was crazy, dude. And the difference, I mean, literally a year before we were at the showdown in Kansas City, and he missed 1,003, and literally adds 70 pounds to that in a year. Insane.
How much of that do you think was the Kabuki bar?
I don't know if it's necessarily the bar. I think maybe it's not like a cheat code bar. Like it's not like you guarantee pounds out of it. I think it's something that just optimizes like leverages, man. Like it's the way he pulls. It's very suited for that bar. Yeah, you know what I mean? And some people can't use it. It's an equipment thing, man. It's no different than using a monolift instead of walking out. I mean, if we all had to pull on stiff bars, we'd all pull on stiff bars. It's just like, it's what the rules are. You know what I mean? Certain people are going to like that bar, but it's like, you know, that's what you got to use. That's what you got to use. That being said, I haven't tried it yet. So you grabbed it. What did you think it felt like?
I don't deadlift heavy enough for it to have a real opinion on it. But I mean, I went 3 for 3 on deadlifts after not going over 1 for 3 on deadlifts for 5 years in a row. So
the argument can be made. Maybe the bar is a cheat code then.
Maybe. Like, so I heard a lot of sumo guys complaining about it, but being a conventional guy, I felt, I don't want to say that it helped me, but it didn't suck, basically. So maybe it's bad for sumo, but good for conventional. So I don't really know.
Well, we're all gonna have to get used to using that shit sooner or later here. I still haven't touched it, but I think they're having it at your meet coming up here, Craig, right?
I'm here. I just went off the Howard Franklin, so there's no service. So I should be good now.
For those who aren't native to Florida, that's a bridge that goes across the middle of the Tampa Bay. So Craig is over a large body of water driving at about 70 miles an hour as we speak. We appreciate you being here, Craig.
Of course. I appreciate you guys having me. Will that be a good, Pat, would a kabuki bar be good for me, in your opinion? We're similar in pulls?
Yeah, definitely. You're able to get your hips under the bar a little bit more. So I liked it. At one point, I had only access to a Texas deadlift bar, and what I did was I added clips on the inside to get the weight out further, because it's a longer pivot distance from the center of the bar where the weights go. So maybe that helped out, but it's basically like doing a block pull, basically, like a 1-inch block pull.
Dude, those pause deadlifts you do, Craig, where you kind of get that gets you in the position at the bottom. That's going to be good for you. If you can sit there and work through the slack like that, all you got to do is hold on.
That's basically it, yeah. Pulls have been feeling good right now, so we're going to keep that going for the next 7 weeks.
I was texting Pat about switching to sumo, or at least just trying sumo the other day, and he was just like, oh, man. Like, he was just like, basically just like saying, like, Lane, you're going to the cheater stance. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to be using a monolith this meet. I'm going to have to walk out. So I have to do like at least one thing to sit there and try and like get a little edge. If you're not cheating, you ain't trying. But a month in, you know what I mean? So we'll see how, so far so good. I haven't done anything heavy yet, but feels okay. My back's not bothering me. So it's a good way to keep kind of getting around some training. Pat's got a new little addition to his training repertoire now. Some sweet new kicks, bro. New boot goofing.
Yeah, I got the new Romellos from Nike. I got the kumquat, the kumquat color. Dude,
blue and orange, the mud kips. It's a Pokemon, Craig.
Yep.
I'm not familiar with that, but I'll go Wikipedia.
The point is, he's getting in some heels, so he's going to be on that Pop King level. A little easier to get down to some depth here. He sent me a video of him doing some air squats, and I'm like 95% positive you were just in some boxer briefs, just wearing those fucking shoes.
Yeah, I know. I have the same video too. So
I was like, it's like Pat's hitting some fucking air squats in his underwear.
Well,
I was like, they look good though.
I was doing I did my squats this week, the pause squats with beltless, and someone was like, can you like post your squat videos without some sort of shorts that cover all of your joints? And I was like, okay, fine. So I got the Hoochie Daddy shorts, but I already had the shoes on.
Dude, they were looking good. So whenever you start getting those in, I think that's going to be the biggest thing is walking out. Craig, I know he's not looking forward to doing that again, especially in those heels. That's a pain in the ass, especially with the weight that you guys are shifting. I'll be close, but you know, you guys are better way better squatters than me.
Bro, you squat 930.
Bro,
yeah, 930 squat, not good. Squat.
I was in but you never look at it like that. We were at the showdown last year, and we were in the back room on the second day, and Andrew Herbert, he comes up to me and he was like, hey, you're the guy that squatted like 903 yesterday, right? He goes, that was an awesome squat. And I go, didn't you squat like 960 once? And he goes, yeah. And I go, yeah, okay, your squat's way better than mine. Yeah, for real though, I might have the biggest total on this podcast, but you guys are literally like subtotal gods. 1,600 apiece for both you clowns. Think about that. That's crazy. Both you guys, like literally, it's crazy.
I mean, if I actually put up a decent squat and a decent bench for once, like go better than 2 for 3. Then we'd be talking like 1700s. It'd be nice.
That would be crazy. Dan, what's Dan's right now? It's 11,
11,
16.
11,
He's 1700.
Yeah, he's 17.
Like
He's
11, 13, 11, 13, and like 606.
So 1719 is the number to beat.
Whew, that's crazy.
There's a lot of guys out there between 198 and 220 that are running so much drugs to just try and get a 1,700-pound total in 3 lifts, and Dan does it in 2.